Ruben, did you spend a bit of time across half back on the weekend as opposed to playing through the midfield?
Yeah, I didn't. I was on the wing for most of the day. So I think, I guess the job of the wingers these days is to run up and back, and found myself in D50 quite a bit, I think. So that, it was good to be able to sort out, help out some of the defenders, help out Garv and TB, because obviously they do a mountain of work down there. So I found myself down back a little bit, but that was just coming down from the wing.
So how did you find it as opposed to being an inside mid?
Yeah, I think I like going out there. I think I'm just trying to, develop different sides of my game. I think last year was a lot of crash and bash, tackle, inside, contested kind of work. And then going out to the wing allows me to use my tank and my run and carry a bit more. So I'm hoping to, build a more well-rounded game so I can go in and outside.
Which is harder on the body, the inside bash and crash or the outside run?
Definitely the inside bash and crash. Ask the big boys like Yoey and TK, they'll tell you how hard that is. But yeah, it's good on the body, and also going outside lets you to free up and use your legs a bit more.
There's been a lot of discussion over the last couple of days about Harley Reid and whether, because he cramped up a little bit late, whether he's fit enough and all those sorts of things. But are those people understanding of what it's like for a first-year player to be in that absolute brutal inside midfield battle, do you think?
Yeah, there's not many first-year players that have ever done it like Harley. Like his the way he attacks the footy, he loves the contest more than anyone, and he crashes bodies. So I think for people on the outside judging him and his fitness, don't really know what it's like to be inside midfielder, especially as a first-year player. So I think his fitness and his training standards are really elite, and he's probably one of the most physical players as a first-year player already. So he's outstanding.
With Yoey sort of likely to miss a little bit, do you think you'll be stepping inside more?
Yeah, I think so. I think with that role I did at the start of the year a bit more, maybe a bit more inside minutes, and I think I guess to put a bit more pressure on my shoulders, which I think which will be good for me. I think I've played quite a few games at AFL footy now, and I think I'm getting more used to that role of inside midfielder. So hopefully can lift a bit more weight for the team in the upcoming rounds if Yoey misses a few weeks.
Last time I spoke to you, I reckon in the pre-season you wanted more footy. That was your aim, to sort of like go from a 12 to 15 player to a 16 to low 20 sort of player. How's that coming along?
Yeah, I think my form throughout the season has been a bit up and down, but like a lot of people in footy, I think I've played quite a few good games. I've been playing my role this year pretty well. I think I'm still trying to find a bit more of that footy, but I think the way I'm using the footy and a bit more impactful than last year, so the development's definitely coming.
The wing is a very structured position now, and it can be starvation corner as well if you get caught on the wrong side. What are your thoughts on that, and how you'll cope with that if you stay there?
Yeah, I think the good thing about that Simo puts me in that role is I can swap inside if I want. So if I'm feeling a bit starved of the footy out in the wing and feel like I'm just running up and back, I can chop out with Dom or Lukey Edwards in there and Chess as well. So there's a lot of boys that can go through that mid-outside role, which makes it pretty fluid. And I guess if you're starved of the footy, you can go in there for a few minutes and go get it.
What's the challenge ahead when you face a team like Collingwood, do you think?
Yeah, obviously Collingwood have had a bit of a rough start to the year, but they're still a super team and they've got a lot of stars in their team. So that midfield and the way their ball movement's obviously elite and what got them to the premiers last year. So to be able to stop their ball movement, they really use their wingers quite well. So and obviously they have a super strong back line. So it's going to be a good challenge this week over in Melbourne.
Is Marvel Stadium a good place to play them at, you think, as opposed to the MCG?
I think so. I think a Sunday Arvo is probably going to be a bit more quiet, which means you don't have the 80,000 Collingwood fans screaming at you, so that'll be better. But I think they play the MCG really well, and we've played at the Etihad quite a bit, so I think it's a bit of a smaller ground, so I think that'll suit our game and makes it easier to defend.
So the things that Adam's talked about, contest, pressure, contested ball, those things are going to be super important for you this weekend, aren't they?
Yeah, I think those three things that we've really been chasing this year probably dropped off a little bit in the Gold Coast game, but I think for definitely the back half of this Essendon game, we really got back to the footy we're trying to play, which is that high pressure contest and front half footy.
Jake Waterman looked set to miss, obviously. How big of a hole does he leave in your forward line?
Yeah, Jakey's been in super form at the moment. I think he's top of the Coleman nearly. So I think but the great signs, we had Jack Williams this week, and that gives another young forward chance to step up with him kicking 3 and obviously 1 in the dying minutes of the game to keep us in it. That was really exciting. And also Ryan Marrick missed through sickness, so he'll be back. So I'm sure he'll be hopefully be able to fill that void of Jake for the next few weeks or 1 week.
And Noah Long, have you seen him around the club, and how's he going after his injury?
Yeah, Longy's good. He's still the same great bloke he is always, cheerful, and I think it's not great for him. I guess we're not too sure on the news of his knee injury, but yeah, he still is happy self, so hopefully the best results and recovery for him.
Just on the Pies, is there any player in particular you fancy lining up on, just the experience?
Yeah, not one in particular, but I think obviously Nick Dacos is one of the best players and best young players going around. So I love the way he plays, and also Jordan Goey and also Scott Pendlebury. So their midfield is pretty star-studded. So all of them are going to be really cool to play on.
Jack Williams, you mentioned a little bit. It's almost like he's growing quarter by quarter at AFL level, isn't it? Every quarter you see him do something you didn't realise he could do, and once he's done it once, he sort of tends to do it again.
Yeah, he's a big lad, Jack, and he's still a young guy, and he's still, I guess, learning to use his body. But I think on the weekend, the few grabs he took up forward was, really promising. And obviously he snagged that one late to keep us in the game. So what Jack's showing is, really promising for the future, and he's given us a lot up forward at the moment.
Because Harley's had so much publicity, when people talk about the Eagles rebuild, they tend to talk about Harley, but it's really about you and Jack and Noah Long and a whole group of players that will need to make up the numbers that play with and around Harley, isn't it? So the development of someone like that is really significant.
Yeah, that's massive. And another one's been Brady Hoff. He's obviously been awesome this year, and he's probably not talked about enough for his, the roles he's been doing on some of the best small to medium forwards in the comp. So there's a lot of boys like that go under the radar and work so hard, and are going to be so important for our rebuild in the short-coming future and also a long time.
Do the young blokes have a group that sort of gels together? Obviously, you need the seniors for advice and on-field leadership and that sort of thing. But have you guys formed your own group and talked about the need to grow as a group and become your own little team?
Yeah, I think when you first come in, you naturally bond to the people of similar age. But what I love about our club is we're so involved with the older boys and the middle-aged boys and the young boys. So in the change room, it's not just all the young fellas talking to each other and the old boys. It's all mixed and mingled, which does make it pretty great. And the stories we tell to the old guys, they love and live off, and we hear about the old stories of them when they played footy at our age. So it's all pretty good and makes for good and fun conversations.
Stewie gave you some big raps the other day. How important is it to hear that from him? And I guess working with him, does it mean a little bit more? You obviously respect him as a player.
Yeah, obviously Boots is the ex-captain of the club and premiership player and superstar for this club and now coach. So to have him, to play with him last year and really make it idol of mine, and now to be my development coach is same with Harley. He big raps for all us young boys. So he's been massive for my development, and I can't wait to have him here for the years to come.
Have you heard from Tyler Brockman or any idea how he's going?
Yeah, Brocky's at the club and he was doing his own training today. I know we've just asked him how's he's going. He says he's pretty well. So I know the club's really supporting him, and hopefully he can come back to footy and get back to his best very soon.
And I think Adam Simpson on one of the stations last night said the player abuse has kind of gone up a level this year online. Have you experienced it yourself? And if not, your teammates that do, how do you kind of get around them and make sure they're doing all right?
Yeah, I haven't experienced any of that myself, but I know obviously social media is a new kind of thing, and it's easy for people to sit behind their keyboard and text some things. So it's obviously not great when our players receive that, but I know the club really backs all our players, and we really feel like a safe space to report that kind of thing these days, and haven't seen any of it. I think the boys mainly keep that privately and give it to the club to sort out.